Good morning friends, Linda here from my fantasy homestead. I have done a lot of work off camera by taking off all this overgrowth from the patio, but I still have the corner to do in here. I was dreading it. Actually, it's taken some time to get onto it. I'm sorry. As you can see, it was literally filled with hardcore bricks, rubble, glass, stripping from the windows. There is a broken window just above it, so all the glass fell into here after it, and it seems like it potentially could be the stepping stone for ingress into the house when people broke in to step in through the window, because this is higher than everywhere else. I will let you enjoy this. Looks like a wetland area and a pond with a fountain and a wire coming into the house. I have no idea. Who wants a garden fork? Guess I have a garden fork now. In this pond area there were 4 or 5 pots, well, different sizes. There were 3 large pots, 2 small ones, and then there was a tiny one. They were all jammed in together and they were all water pots, so they had little holes on the sides everywhere. It was like a mesh, but unfortunately what has happened over time is that the plastic had deteriorated and they were literally disintegrating, and they're being held together by just being, because they had been squashed together. Everything's rotten here. There's even glass underneath the plastic, and yeah, it's just too much glass. I have cleaned out the corner here, and as I suspected, it was a wildlife area, or like it wasn't like wildlife area, it was more like a fountain by a house that has damp issues. But okay, yeah, I guess. So now what we need to do, there's no patio underneath here. I'm gonna wait for it to dry out for a couple of days, and then I'll sweep all of the remaining glass that's in there. I don't know if you can see, but there's a line of wet, and then there was a plastic there, and there was a massive rat's nest here as well. The rat thankfully is gone, but all the little bits of like plastic that it just eats and like puts in the nesting area, that was all here. And the house has a rat problem, or it has had a rat problem. There is a squirrel in the tree, literally behind you. I think there's 2. I need to get Mark. It looks like we have 2 squirrels living in nearby in the trees. Up there. Anyways, this was a fun job and I have cleaned the patio. Dun dun dun. Up to here, which means that all of the bits with the glass are basically gone. I just need to sweep everything again and then glass will be gone. Yay! And then the rest of this I can compost. I will have so much soil, which is gonna be great. Hi friends! Linda here from my fancy homestead. Today we're gonna be playing with water. I'll show you how I'm dressed, but I want to wash this patio off all of the algae and moss and everything else that has grown in there. So here's my attire. This is a shower curtain, the old one, that's moldy, but it's gonna be great for keeping my feet dry. And then I have wellies and Mark's broken jeans. Hey. And here's my pressure washer. I put a different jumper on. Well, I put an extra jumper on. And now I am color coordinated. Haha! I'm just checking that my microphone's on. I have no idea. I've been talking. I might as well been talking into the void. That's how it works. Well, Mark did, and me in the same time. So let's play with the. I think we will start with the top because there is a lot of green stuff growing on it. As you can see behind me, you see that? I'll show you. Mark already played, and look, there is a little patch that he's done. We thought about doing the sunroom, but in the same time there is so much work and it's late in the evening. Well, it was late in the evening and I didn't have much daylight left, so in the end we just decided to do the patio this time and some window sills, because who doesn't like to look at power washing videos, right? I, for example, really like. I find them very satisfying and calming and relaxing, but maybe it's because I like, well, I really like watching other people work when I don't need to do it myself. There's that, and that's my biggest confession. There you go. We decided to leave this part, the top part of the sunroom, because it sprays the water really harshly onto you. When you are pointing the nozzle upwards in the air, you get wet from above and all of that grime is coming down. It's so fun. I have so much to do. We were actually talking about this and thinking that because we have a massive ladder, we potentially can get on top of the sunroom and then spray the top, because there's a lot of moss and a lot of algae growing everywhere there, and then we can clean that up. It's not perfect. It's still like slightly yellow, but it's not green anymore, which I think is a great improvement. Let's try the patio then. This was my first time power washing with this pressure washer. Please don't judge me too harshly about how well or poorly I did the job, because now watching back and editing this video, I can just see the streaks that I have left everywhere, and I have missed because I hadn't gotten the nozzle correct. But the difference between the washed and unwashed is very stark. I don't think the patio has been washed for some time, and as you can see, my apron slash shower curtain apron skirt works really well. It was actually like keeping all of the grime and the moss and everything else off of me, and I ended up being very, very, very dry at the end of it. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. I rinsed off the shower curtain and I put it out to dry in one of the outbuildings, and yeah, I'm gonna be using it again when I need to do next pressure washing ever, which I probably will, because there's a lot of things to do here. I'm actually really anxious about everything else that needs doing in the house, so I felt like this was not a big deal to do, but Mark assured me that we just need to move forward. So even if it's like a tiny little bit every time or every week we do a little bit, then things are progressing forward. And I know that the roof needs fixing and the gutters need fixing, the windows need replacing, there's jackdaws that are nesting into the attic now because there's holes in the roof, like there's mold issues. We are waiting back for asbestos survey, and it's just lots of little things. At least the canalization is fixed, so well, the clay pipes underneath the house, so we managed to do that already. That's great. But so many little things to do, and it feels like you're just always on the back foot a little bit. So this is kind of helping me with the stress. To see something clean at least. And I don't know if we're gonna keep the patio, and in the same time it's like, do I want to clean the patio? Are we gonna keeping it? It needs repairing. Do we repair it first and then clean it? Or do we clean it and then repair it? It's like always goes through my mind, am I wasting my time doing this? But then I am enjoying it. So if I enjoy it, is it waste of time? Yeah. Okay, I will stop rambling and I'll put some music up here. So I don't need to talk so much. Because I'm conscious about it. Enjoy. I'm really happy how it's coming along. I was so satisfied, that's the word, satisfied about all of the moss coming off of the carport wall. It is a very old brick, so I had to be very careful when I was pressure washing it, because the brick is disintegrating if I apply too much pressure or if I go too close with it, and the moss has grown into it as well. It's a north facing wall and it never gets really much sunlight, so I didn't expect so much debris and gunk to come off of all of these patio slabs. But as I kept going, there's more and more organic matter that's just washed off. I think I will need to sweep it all up, and, well, once it's dry, you can kind of see it pooling behind the edge. There's like piles and piles of just bits of moss and dirt and more moss and algae and more moss and more dirt. Okay, I am done. It's washed. I have like rinsed it off with like very soft misty nozzle. Now I need to get all of the wires in and the pressure washer in. It looks like a mess, but the pressure washer is literally saying don't clean this with the pressure washer. So I think it cannot get wet. Sorry if my face is has specks. I washed my face, but there's no mirror in the house, so there's that. My hands are tingling, like they're vibrating. Like as soon as I touch them together, they like vibrate, like. Trrrr. I did this because I have 2 trays of plants here. So if I go away for a couple of days, they are plug plants and they are just very, very small babies. If I put them anywhere in the courtyard, it's not even. So the tray sits at an angle. So the water, if I would put a little bit of water underneath for them to survive for a couple of days, it pools on one side. So this is the only straight place in here. I basically decided to do it today. So if you do it correctly, right? I didn't film the intro before I started shoveling all of the nettles off of it, but I mean, hey, hello friends, let's do this today. I'm just very tired. Anyways, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye! We still need to pressure wash that thing. It's green. Yeah? You gonna come along with that? Let's find a sunny day. Postscriptum. The apron worked amazing. I am not wet at all. Yep. I just pressure sprayed myself off from my knees down. Well, from my mid-thighs down. And yeah. The jeans are not wet, which is amazing. I should be wet up to my waist almost. Bye!